The Blockchain Research Institute has just completed a substantial project at a rather critical time. And in this work, we focus on what the Biden-Harris administration could do to reimagine U.S. technology strategy and policy. And we hope that this project provides some fresh thinking for leaders of local, state, and foreign governments as well. Collaboration and coordination across all jurisdictions will be critical to the sustainability of every democratic state. And we're delighted to have worked with the Chamber of Digital Commerce in Washington, D.C., and some other experts on this massive undertaking. The project features a foreword by Tony Scott, the former federal chief information officer of the United States in the Obama-Biden administration. And our key message is, it's time for a turn. We need to go from the digital and cultural silos of the federal government to a shared and open set of protocols, platforms, and data governance. We also, more broadly, need to turn from economic opportunities to the few to prosperity for many. And there are many, many profound changes that can be made in terms of how the government thinks about technology strategy overall in the economy and in the country and in the society as well. And to begin to state the obvious, the administration arrives at a rather unique time in history. On the one hand, the pandemic has exposed problems at all levels of government, and it's created a demand pull for transformation. On the other hand, we have the trivergence of these three critical technologies: artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, and blockchain technologies. And these are creating a technology push, if you like, for innovation. So President Biden's appointees should acknowledge these new digital realities and act now. For starters, they need to develop a framework for acting on the many opportunities before them. And this means they need to get up to speed quickly on these technologies. So in the project and in the reports, we've distilled all the possibilities down to 5 big priorities. The first is to embrace the digital dollar and other cryptocurrencies. Lawmakers should move quickly to be the first to issue a central bank digital currency in the world, the US dollar. But they need to understand several ideas. First, digital currencies are not used mostly for criminal activity, as some have said. They have many good uses, such as deterring money laundering, improving sanctions compliance, and so on. They've also helped in detecting and prosecuting criminals. Secondly, corporate cryptocurrencies like Facebook's Diem can also solve problems in the financial system and access to the financial system, and governments should cautiously support them as well. And third, innovators want clear regulatory compliance on digital tokens, including custody and tax treatment. And these community-based cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and others have a real role in the society. We suggest a number of recommendations. Among them, the United States needs to streamline oversight of the industry and apply all the regulators' common requirements to financial institutions. Secondly, we need a moratorium on these new rules around cryptocurrencies, and a full consultation with stakeholders needs to be conducted, ultimately ending up in a principles-focused rather than rules-focused approach to regulation. The second big category of transformations is to ensure the security, privacy, autonomy, and identity of citizens in this new era of the digital age. And there are 3 imperatives here. One, America should be the first country to endorse self-sovereign digital identities, seeking digital solutions to protect identity and to use data confidentially. This means recognizing data as the new asset class of the digital age, where citizens create it and they should own it. They should control it, be able to use the data to plan their lives, to monetize the data, and to protect their right to privacy. For example, individuals who've developed a verifiable immunity to COVID-19 could attach a health certification to their digital identity to prove they're safe to work in public again, for example. Secondly, the cybersecurity of the U.S. digital infrastructure needs to be transformed. Russian hackers, recent cyber attacks on the United States should really serve as a wake-up call. And there should be coordinated efforts to secure the digital systems underpinning the most democratic societies today and the global economy. And thirdly, we need efforts to close the digital divide. This is a term that I guess that I coined in my 1997 book, Growing Up Digital, that really developed this idea. And we can't solve systematic inequality in the economy if we replicate it in cyberspace. So the Biden-Harris administration must prioritize low-cost access and high-speed broadband to connect marginalized communities in urban and rural dead zones. Now, I've been saying this for 25 years, but now it's never been more important. The third big class of transformations is to retool government services and service delivery to meet world-class digital standards. And for here, we're calling for kind of a domestic digital Marshall Plan. And this thing would achieve three goals. One, it would coordinate all federal CIOs as well as the change makers among career IT civil servants. And it would include state and local level CIOs and stakeholders as well. Secondly, it would take a bold and long-term view, but it would start small with adequate budgets for innovative projects. Three, the projects would result in open standards and shared services, all vendor agnostic, interoperable, and scalable nationally. A case in point is using blockchain technologies to manage the vaccination rollout with speed, compliance, and care. And U.S. digital leadership, a service mindset, and a clear map of the service journey could have the American economy on the road to recovery with such a solution. The fourth big priority is about democracy. We need to engage citizens, hold elected officials accountable, and rebuild trust in American democratic institutions. If we do this right, we can do nothing less than the transformation of democracy for a new age. President Biden could become the first truly digital president, using tools to restore confidence in experts and change the relationship between citizens and their government. That rather than being the passive recipients of government, citizens could be engaged in determining their own future. And we identify many tools to support this kind of engagement and activism, as well as institutional transparency and accountability. Let's make government naked. And when you make an institution naked, that means it needs to get buff. Fitness is no longer an option. The fifth big priority is to reboot America's innovation economy. So the new administration needs to strengthen the building blocks of innovation and job creation as we come out of the pandemic. And this means four big things in our minds. One, it means addressing the opportunity gaps in the startup infrastructure and boosting investment in underserved communities, giving entrepreneurs of color access to capital. Secondly, it means streamlining processes for new businesses. Now, entrepreneurs shouldn't have to submit their data multiple times in multiple data formats because of multiple back-end government silos that can't talk to each other. Thirdly, it means seeding America's small businesses through education, promoting entrepreneurial pathways in high schools and technical colleges. And finally, it means reforming immigration policies so foreign-born entrepreneurs can start their businesses on American soil, and so that graduate students are not being sent home after they graduate to another country. So, to sum it up, we need high-level leadership and commitment to digital transformation. And this is not just about modernizing technology and tools. It's about adopting the right digital solutions to change how government works, how it delivers public value, and how it can wire prosperity into the second era of the digital economy. Now, the goal here is to fulfill the new promise of technology and also to minimize the dark side, of which there's a big one. The dystopian futures imagined by science fiction authors are not so far-fetched these days. And leaders also need to take personal responsibility to learn about these technologies and foster a bipartisan culture of innovation. My co-authors on the project are Anthony Williams and Kirsten Sandberg. You may remember Anthony and I co-wrote the book, happy to say the bestseller, Wikinomics, How Mass Collaboration Changes Everything. And we did a couple of other books together as well. And Anthony's led several research projects for the BRI in the areas of government and financial services. Kirsten is our wonderful editor-in-chief at the Blockchain Research Institute. And she's contributed behind the scenes to most of our research project, and she's led the BRI's research on blockchain's role in enterprise strategy. And I encourage you to read this work. I'm very proud of it, and I think it's very timely. Discuss it among your colleagues, and we believe this project is so important, we've released it into the Creative Commons. So send a copy of the report and the accompanying IP to anybody you want to. Let's have a national and international debate. And hopefully, wherever you are, this will help you identify opportunities and have a new framework to think about the transformation of government and our economies in this new era of the digital age.